Hey, Ben, what is on this week's run sheet, mate?
We have a great chat with director Peter Manoogian, the director of Eliminators and Seed People and Demonic Toys.
We'll also talk about the best films from 2007.
What?
Yep.
I thought it was 2008.
Wow.
It's going to be an interesting show.
What's our movie battle?
This week we're doing The Watcher in the Woods versus The Wolves of Willoughby Chase.
Fantastic. And our friends from America, as they always are every single week, Boneheads from Bonehead Weekly.
And I'm sure there's plenty more.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Good Movie Monday, your home of nerdy cinematic ramblings. I'm Glenn Cochran.
And I'm Ben Helwig.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Must have been while you were kissing me.
It was. Thanks for joining us. It's great to have you with us. We have a fun time doing this for you every single week. And do you know what, Ben? Our analytics show that there are a lot of people listening and I suppose watching this show from overseas.
Yeah, and shout out to Jeff, a friend of mine, who got in touch with me this week. Who I have not spoken or seen this guy for 20 years, I reckon. Like, he was a customer at Borders when I worked there, when it opened in Chatston, and we would meet up during MIF, funnily enough, and just watch a bunch of movies. And he is now living in Japan.
Right.
And he got in touch to say that he's been listening to the show. So thank you so much. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. My name's Jeff. We appreciate everybody that tunes in every single week. If you're new to the show, which I know there are people that come on board every week, it might be because of an interview we've done or there's some reason that they've just chimed in for the first time. We appreciate all of you as well. Where can they go, Ben?
They can go to goodmoviemonday.com, Glenn. There they'll find all the links to our social media. They'll find a repository of episodes, both past and present.
A repository.
A repository. Unlike the suppository, which is where I keep all my episodes.
I better put that on the top of the page. Your go-to repository.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? I've never used that word before.
You go to suppository for Good Movie Monday if you're like me and you like to listen to it while you're sitting on the can.
No, you go to the repository to look for information on our website, and then when you want to leave, you hit the suppository. It's a fast way out. Anyway, we have merch as well. So
we do have
you
merch.
Want to pick up a T-shirt with our logo on it, or our faces on it. Do we have faces on it?
I think we got faces on the mug.
Yeah, the mug might be where the faces are.
I'm not sure about the jizz rag.
Yes.
I mean the tea towel. Sorry, the tea towel.
Yeah, that's where. I'm just trying to think on my jizz rag where your face is and where my face is.
Well, we both know that you've got the love pillow, so I guess it just depends on what you're in the mood for.
Someone's got to be the catcher and the other one's got to be the wiper. So, I don't know. Anyway, Jesus Christ, we've got Peter Manoogian on the show, as we said before, and I know for a fact he's going to be listening and or watching this episode. Well, what a great way to really get a start of a show for a special guest that we know this time is going to be paying attention. We're talking about jizz rags and all that kind of shit.
We should be talking about the fantastic Full Moon Fright Box Volume 2 that Umbrella have just dropped because they're a cool internet company, so they use the word dropped.
They do drop it.
Which features Seed People, directed by Peter, and the first volume features Demonic Toys and Demonic Toys 2 and Dollman versus Demonic Toys.
Amazing. These are movies from our childhood. These are movies that we love dearly. So, this is exciting stuff for us.
These are video store greats.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Ben, there are movies coming out this week, but I have not seen any of them at the time this episode is recording. I will have seen all of them on the day the episode drops. So
What are they? What are those movies?
That's a great question. Toxic Avenger would be one of them.
Right. Also another Umbrella joint.
Yes. Honey Don't, which is the new Ethan Coen film. And Caught Stealing.
You didn't like the last one, did you?
I
Drive-Away Dolls?
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was sort of just...
Is it it's the same character running through it?
I don't believe so. I think it's a whole new film, which when I had him on the show to talk about that movie Drive-Away Dolls, or Drive-Away Dykes, as he preferred to call it. I reckon he would have been deep into production on this, and the son of a bitch didn't tell me.
Didn't mention it.
Yeah. And caught stealing a new Darren Aronofsky film. So I might talk about them next week, but I haven't seen them yet. So there's nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about.
Do you have something?
I do, of course. Last Friday, the first wave announcement for...
The dog has arrived. Scared the shit out of us. We had a surprise for Ben, and that is the fact that this dog would be here. And wasn't supposed to find out till after the show. I hope you all heard that.
Can we pause it?
All right. Pause for a dog pat. Jesus Christ.
A few moments later.
A few moments later.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
Excellent.
That's the most amazing thing that's happened to me all week.
Excellent.
And I got a hand job on the way.
Anyhow, Monsterfest.
Monsterfest 2025. The first wave announcement has dropped.
What are the dates this year?
This year in Melbourne at Cinema Nova, it's between the October the 3rd and October the 11th.
Once again, right on my birthday.
On your birthday, yeah. And on your birthday, that's when we're playing Deathstalker.
Amazing.
And what's the other film that's playing on that night? It is Deathstalker and... we've announced them both.
Mr. Monsterfest here.
I know the films that are playing, but I just can't remember which one is playing on that Friday night.
I don't expect you to know dates yet, mate, other than what's in front of you. So come on.
Yeah.
Cut yourself some slack.
It's, I don't have it.
There's a soundbite.
Why don't I have it? Is it a test screening? Is it, I can't remember. But there is a bunch of great films playing. So we are playing Deathstalker, the Steve Kostansky film.
We will have an interview with him at the time too, leading up to that. Very excited.
I think in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Deathgasm 2 is our closing night film, the Jason Lee Howden follow-up to the most metal horror film
Let's
of all
get him
time.
on the show. He was on the show way back in the start, so I'd be keen to chat with him again.
And he is, so that would be great. We're playing this film called Test Screening, which is directed by Clark Baker, written by Steven Susko, who did Texas Chainsaw in 2013, the Alexandra Daddario film, and he wrote The Grudge and The Grudge 2 and a bunch of other stuff. And Test Screening is super gross and awesome. Set
Brilliant.
in the 80s, all about a test screening. We're playing, there's a couple of Australian films, Rotten and Resident. Rotten is...
Rotten?
Oh, it's rotten.
Rotten.
It starts off super dark and then it goes in this direction that is so fucking awesome and hilarious. And then it goes right back to being super dark again. It's fantastic. We're playing Jimmy and Stiggs, the new Jay Bagos film that just got picked up by Eli Roth. His first acquisition in his new distribution company. We've got a 4K restoration of Freaked.
Of course. The Alex Winter
which
film.
that's the other film that's playing on Friday night with Deathstalker. So what a night. Deathstalker and Freaked.
Amazing.
Or in fact, I think it's the other way around. I think I might be Freaked and Deathstalker. But
with Keanu Reeves as the Wolf Boy.
that's right. And Randy Quaid and Brooke Shields and Mr. T and Bobcat Goldthwait. And
all reasons for you to love it.
We've got a fantastic film called Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. Starring Steve Buscemi, Britt Lower from Severance, and John Magaro, who was in things like Overlord and Past Lives, and Leroy, Texas, that I talked about on the show a couple of months ago. We're playing first-time filmmaker Mercedes Bryce Morgan has got this film called Bone Lake.
Bone Lake?
Which is stars Maddie Hassan, who is turning up in fucking everything at the moment. She was in like Malignant and the Jumper TV series, among many, many other things, about a couple who in like this, they go on a European Airbnb, like this kind of super classy kind of mansion, and then this other couple turns up and they've booked the place, and they can't get hold of the owner, so they both decide to share, and then let's just say shit happens.
Oh, God, that sounds like Barbarian.
Yeah, not not that twist. Unfortunately, but still great. But you can find out about it all and more by going to monsterfest.com.au/Australia.
Brilliant.
And checking it out.
Looking forward to it.
And a big shout out to Gareth Gibson, the very talented artist who created our poster art this year.
Amazing.
This week.
It's Terrific TV Tuesday, the only Tuesday TV segment that drops on a Monday.
I've got a great show to talk about on Terrific TV Tuesday this week, Glenn. I wonder if you remember it. Because I went to see a movie this week that you did not come to, but the person who I took instead, Replacement Glenn, randomly brought this up, and I was like, yes, I've been talking about this show for years, and no one else seems to remember it.
Okay, so I'm going right back to the 80s for mine. Like, wouldn't it be funny if we had the same one?
I am also going back to the 80s, 87, 88, this TV show aired.
Okay.
It's called The New Adventures of Beans Baxter.
I remember the title for sure. You'll have to jog my memory.
It is very similar to movies like I think it was called Riding Out and If Looks Could Kill, the John Stamos, Gene Simmons movie.
Boy, do I remember this! I absolutely remember this.
It aired here on ABC's part of the afternoon show. This show was created by Savage Steve Holland.
Yeah.
The man behind Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer and all that sort of stuff. It was shot mainly in Vancouver and Richmond in British Columbia. And it's about this kid who's, as far as he knows, his father is a United States or a Canadian postal worker. Who, in fact, Benjamin, his name is Benjamin Beans. His name is, like, he's a junior. But everyone just calls him Beans. But his father, Benjamin Baxter, actually is a spy for a Control Get Smart-esque agency. He's a courier. But due to a leak, the villains, and I can't remember what the name of the full name of their thing is, but the acronym is UGLY. So the agents of UGLY, led by Kurtwood Smith and Wendy O. Williams, figure out who he is, and they fake his death and kidnap him.
Amazing. And
the only people who know about it are the agency and Beans. And because he shares the same name, Beans pretends to be his father and carries on his mission, and while he's searching, trying to rescue his father from Kurtwood Smith. Fantastic show. There's 17 episodes aired. They're all on YouTube, so you can watch them. It had guest stars like Sean Weatherly, Mary Crosby, Taylor Negron, Amanda Weiss, Kitten Natividad, Jason Priestley turned up, John Vernon, Dee Snider is in a fantastic episode where he plays the music exorcist.
Amazing.
Originally, the lead was actually David Spade was considered, and he turned it down on advice of his management because he had that lucrative Police Academy 4, I think, or 3 deal on the table.
Number 4, yeah. Wow.
But yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna trip nostalgic and go watch that possibly in the next week.
Definitely would check it out. It is awesome.
And shot in Vancouver. You know, that's my soft spot. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so I went back to 1983 for an Aussie police drama called The Scales of Justice. Have you ever seen this?
Never
My
heard of this
God,
show.
you're going to love this. So it's...
Like if you would have, I would have been less surprised if you had said Skirts with Mary Custis.
Oh, yeah. This is the first in what writer-director Michael Jenkins considered his trilogy. So he started with Scales of Justice, which is 3 episodes, movie-length episodes. And then he followed that up with Blue Murder with Richard Roxburgh and Tony Martin. And then the third in the trilogy was the actual series Wild Side, which began as a movie, turned into a series. But it's all very thematic, same cast of characters, or not characters, but same players in it.
Roger Rogerson and all that sort of stuff.
No. Like as in the actors crossover.
Right.
Yeah. So this one, for example, like Bill Hunter, as in like a lot of them. Max Cullen. You got John Million, Dennis Miller, who I love, the Aussie Dennis Miller. The Aussie Dennis Miller. Simon Burke, John Hargraves is fantastic. And so episode 1, and the thing about this show is it's all done almost documentary style. It's very much on the ground, camera moving with the characters, almost like it's the mockumentary, but it's serious, deadly serious. And it just each episode tackles police corruption or corruption at some level. So the first episode is called The Job, and it's all about the uniforms on the beat, and that's where Simon Burke and John Hargraves are partners. One's a rookie, the other one's like the crooked.
It's always a fucking rookie, isn't it?
Yeah, but the seasoned vet is like on the take, and he's not corrupt in like a very corrupt way. He's just like he'll see an accident or something he has to attend to, and he'll look the other way and he goes, "Mate, we haven't got time for 4 hours of paperwork."
But that's the best part about that movie Red Ball that John Hewitt directed, where they've got the body in the Yarra and they just keep, the cops on one side of the river just go, "Oh, it's not our problem," and push it back out, so it goes to the other side.
A lot of that. They're driving down the street 5 minutes before knockoff, and like there's this major accident. He's like, "Do a Yui, do a fucking Yui." And then episode 2 is called The Game, and that is all about the detectives on the next level up on the take. So it's all the suited cops, not the actual uniform cops. And Bill Hunter's a real prick. He's always a prick in these sort of things. Yeah. He's great at it. And then number 3 is called The Numbers, and it's all about sort of the halls of power, and it's the government, and it's in the corridors of,
who are the most corrupt of all.
It's in the corridors of the Victorian state government, and it's just fascinating. And some of the cops from the previous episodes come and go. Like what's I forgot his name. I haven't written it down. What's the name of the New Zealand actor that was the dad from The Big Steal? Marshall Napier, I think his name is. Yeah. He's in a few episodes and sort of walks up and down. No, and the Claudia Carvin's dad from The Big Steal,
the plumber guy. Yeah. Who's like, I always think of him as not Bill Hunter. Yeah.
He's the most corrupt of all the cops in this show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and he pops up in the third one. But just really, really good. If you like...
Does somebody fuck up his Jag in this?
If you like Blue Murder, which is probably the most famous of the lot, go back and watch this. It's really groundbreaking, and it's really edgy. And the funny thing is, my wife and I are watching it, and this is at a time they show full frontal male nudity. There's dick and balls, right? Getting hosed down in a cell.
I'm all for dick and balls. I don't like it when it's just dick and no balls.
There's blood galore, like really graphic accident, injury kind of stuff. But they can't swear on television back then. So every swear word is replaced with bastard, but it's delivered with like bastard. It's like,
bastard. You bastarding bastard.
Mel and I watching, we're counting it. We're like up to fucking 50. It's like, somebody tell that bastard. But they always put their everything into the word. It's fucking hilarious. And the one thing you would appreciate in episode 1, and we're going back to 1983. Keep that in mind. Probably filmed in 82. Simon Burke walks down the hall with a box of KFC. And it looks like the most incredible KFC.
Like a bucket?
No, it's a box. But it's the KFC we remember, mate.
Yeah. I miss that KFC.
Oh, I do too. Fantastic show anyway. I highly recommend you get on it. You'll recognise a lot of faces.
Is this on the YouTube?
It's on the YouTube for
Fantastic.
Sure.
Now, did you think I forgot Glenn?
I had hoped you forgot Ben.
I certainly did
I thought you might have replaced your show with this. And
I wanted to get my show out, but
I was thinking about this. If you missed last week's episode, I sprung a few sitcom theme songs on Ben, and we sang them together, and it was great. It made a good TikTok moment. And then Ben said, well, I'm going to come back next week with more. And I'm thinking to myself throughout the week, those were the only ones I know.
Well, I have taken pity on you. I'm not going to make you sing the theme song to Covington Cross or anything like that.
I won't know any of these, I reckon.
Hampton Court, or Home and Away. But no, I've done cartoons, 80s cartoons.
I won't know any of these. You're welcome to sing them. I'll try.
Well, the first one, I mean, come on, you should know, Thundercats.
No, I never watched Thundercats.
You never watched Thundercats? You don't know the theme song?
I watched it from time to time, but it was not my jam.
Wow. So if I was to say Thundercats are on the move, you would not know what the next line is?
No.
Oh, this is so disappointing. I can't believe it. I'm shocked. I'm stunned. Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic. Hear the roar. Thundercat. Nothing.
Sorry.
Oh, Jesus. All right. How about... Well, then you're not going to know Ulysses 31, are you?
No. I bet you're glad I left an edit point at the start of this. just in case.
Ulysses. How about... Come on. Mysterious Cities of Gold?
I should know that. I'm looking right at it now, Series 1 and 2.
Come on, you got to give it a...
Can you start me off?
Children of the sun, see your time has just begun.
Yep.
Searching for your ways through adventure every day.
Yeah, I don't know it. I mean, I know the show very, very well, but I obviously never paid attention to it.
What about the chorus? You got to know the chorus.
No, I don't. I'll know it when you say it, but not off the top of my head.
Jeez.
Ben's so disappointed right now.
How about, come on, this one you've got to know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The Trapdoor?
No.
Did you even watch the afternoon show? How could you miss the Trapdoor?
I wasn't into that many cartoons as a kid, mate.
Well, this is a claymation.
I know the Trapdoor. I know the Trapdoor, but I don't know the song.
Well, it was actually because the Trapdoor really only has the lyrics of the song are like 2 lines or something like that. Like most of it's just a scroll, like somewhere in the dark and nasty regions where nobody goes stands an ancient castle. Deep within its dark and uninviting place lives Burke. Hello. The overworked servant to the thing upstairs. Burke, feed me. Remember this?
You're going to set the dog off.
But that's nothing compared to the horrors that lurk beneath the trapdoor. For there's always something down there in the dark, waiting to come out.
Would you have known that without that in front of you?
No, I couldn't have got the thing. Okay. But I would have known this part. Don't you open that trapdoor. You're a fool if you dare. No? Stay away from that.
I'm so glad somebody's having fun here.
I'm having a great time. Come on, and surely this one. Monkey Magic.
Monkey Magic. Nah.
That's it. I mean, that's it. That's the chorus.
Yeah, I remember the tune ever so vaguely.
Born from an egg on a mountain top.
Yeah, I remember the tune, but not the words or anything.
I was going to say an extra point if you can sing the...
Monkey is funky and blah, blah, blah.
What about the end song, Gondara?
I reckon I watched 3 episodes of Monkey Magic in total.
Jesus.
I was watching Danger Bay and shows like that. And the one with the magic school bus and shit.
Magic school bus?
Yeah. Fucking great. Was it Mr. Hoffenpoff's fucking school bus or whatever it was?
What about things like Dr. Snuggles?
Nah.
Transformers, Machine Men?
Didn't like Transformers, didn't like Machine Men. I wasn't into those boy kind of cartoons. I was like into...
Care Bears? My Little Pony?
Well...
Strawberry Shortcake?
Belle and Sebastian.
What's the Belle and Sebastian song?
Yeah,
or Bumpty Boo?
Bumpty Boo.
So you got to know. Josie and the Pussycats?
Nah, so I didn't watch that.
The Archies? I mean, that was a hit song.
I didn't watch that. Like, we had different childhoods, my friend. What was I watching? What was the one with the spotty guy? Fucking Super Ted? What's the Super Ted song?
Oh, geez, what is the Super Ted song? It has a great one, too.
I can't believe you don't know it, Ben. What about the...
if you start me off on that, I will know it.
Yeah, I don't know it. What about the Ruttles? No, the Ruttles, the Ratties?
The Ratties. Well, the Ratties was Spike Milligan talking really fast.
It's the Ratties.
And Uncle Fat Fatty.
And it's Uncle Tatty. It's the Ratty Show.
What about Bangers and Mash? Bangers and Mash. Bangers and Mash. The kids are in there, ain't up.
we
Bangers and mash.
We need a spin-off
Bangers
show,
and mash.
a jingle spin-off show where we're well researched and well prepared. Yeah, no, I've let you down. I've let you all down, and I apologise.
This is going to be one of those things too that after we start recording, you'd be like, "Yeah, I knew all of those. I just wasn't going to sing them."
No, I'm being very honest. To be very honest, you've exposed my childhood.
Do you know the Neighbours theme song?
Yeah. I'm not singing the Neighbours theme song. It's so daggy. It's everybody
Barry,
needs good neighbours. With a
Barry
little
Crocker.
understanding, you can find the perfect friend.
It's Barry fucking Crocker.
I know. When they removed his name or his voice from it,
Yeah, ruined it.
outrageous.
What about? I'm not gonna, just gonna have to start thinking of shows that you would have seen, like Married with Children. Surely.
Yeah. I mean, the whole
And,
sitcom universe is different, but you've opened up a can of worms for the daytime, like Saturday morning sort of variety of shows. I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive into my childhood and come up with some for you. Ones that I watched. We don't have to sing the songs, but I can just say, hey, while
What
you
about
were watching
this?
those, this is what I
I
watched.
was watching.
I wasn't doing nothing. Like Early Bird Show, watch that. You didn't like the BMX.
If you were watching the Early Bird show, you would have been watching Transformers.
No, I always switched channels when Transformers came on. It was not my jam. Voltron was okay, but anyway,
Voltron's pretty good.
Anyway, fucking hell. Well, speaking about our childhoods, Ben, it's time to trip down memory lane with Peter Manoogian, the as we said at the start of the show, the fantastic director of some cult classics that he made with Charles Band. He did a few outside of the Charles Band universe as well, but Eliminators was a massive one for me. Seed People, just love. Demonic Toys. I was a bit older when that came out, but geez, I love it. And this guy was a fantastic conversation. He was such a good conversation that we've actually got an extended version of this chat that's going to drop on Thursday on Facebook and YouTube. So if you really enjoy what you hear on this show, check out the full video because there's a lot more fun stuff with Peter. Let's jump straight into it. Enjoy, and we'll catch you on the other side. Well, thank you for joining us. It's great to be chatting with you. Ben and I, we're children of the VHS revolution, I guess you would say. We came up working through the video stores, and so your films were naturally a big part of that. So it's great to be chatting with you.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Do you miss that era? Do you miss the VHS era?
Yeah, well, not, in a way, I guess it's certainly a nostalgic time for me, isn't it?
For sure.
Thinking back to all that. I mean, it was in retrospect, it was short-lived, wouldn't you say?
Well, in comparison to how long DVDs have been around, absolutely.
But maybe also that's just because of the way time flies. But it was really quite a unique little revolution that sort of for the industry at the time, and it really turned a lot of things, a lot of film production on its head in the sense of what was happening before that. And suddenly all these, mom and pop video stores were opening, and all these young producers who were like Charlie Band were making movies based on selling a poster and an idea at the film markets in, Cannes or Venice or wherever. But so it was a unique time, and it was a great time because you could make I suppose $1 million today is, $1 million then was more than $1 million today would be.
Yep.
But, movies which came from the studios were you couldn't make anything for less than, I don't know what, this low budgets were 10 or 15 million.
Yep.
And suddenly you could make a horror movie for $900,000 and make $1 million profit on it,
Uh-huh.
So it was like a lot of young and new independent companies sprouting up. So it was sort of I wouldn't call it a golden age. It was kind of a gold rush era, sort of.
That's a good way to put it. As you can see, Ben is still trapped in the 80s. He has all of those VHS behind him, which I think they're mostly your films.
all of your VHS, except for Southern Comfort in the corner there. But otherwise, they are movies that you've had something to do with. What I don't understand about what happened during that kind of VHS revolution is how all these movies looked so good on these low budgets, and then moving into the 90s and the 2000s, how they all look so bad when they're low budget. Like,
That's a good question.
I was watching Arena today, which is one of my like favorite of your films. And I was just like just watching it, going, look, how good does this look? How good are the effects? How good is the prosthetics? You know, the acting is good, the lighting is good, the sound is good, and you know, I came up working in distribution, working in the low budget end of it, and the amount of dross that I had to watch on a daily basis where these films just look so bad, and I just it boggles the mind.
Interesting. Well, if the lighting looks good and the acting looks good, it doesn't matter what the directing's like, does it? No, I'm just throwing that in because the directing is the one thing you didn't mention about Arena. But yeah, I was there during the making of it. You know why they look good, I think? Because first of all, there were, LA was LA was, I guess, maybe still is, was a heavily union town. I mean, by the end of the 80s, in the early 90s, all the producers, big producers, but even the little producers, were not making movies in LA anymore because they were too expensive. But the thing is, when you had all these IA crews and NABET crews, mostly Yahtzee, mostly IA crews, you had a lot of younger people who were training into and working in film who weren't in the union yet, or they weren't getting enough work because there was so much work around. They couldn't get work in the big studio pictures, and they really knew what they were doing. So you could get excellent crews on a non-union picture, and they really knew what they were doing. And in a sense, visual effects, I mean, that was when Rob Bottin was coming up and John Beekler was coming up, these young people who basically were really great. Even Stan Winston, he sort of started back then. And they Stan was probably one of the first who started going on to these bigger budget things, but his roots were in low budget stuff. I mean, he did the Parasite for Charlie Band's Parasite. And at the same time, he did it almost as a favor because they were friends because they had met. And Stan was doing, I don't know what, some big picture, making all kinds of money. And he was willing to, and he had a studio of his own that was a special effects house that was basically growing. And you could hire people who were just fresh out of school or hadn't even gone to school, who wanted to get into effects and loved movies, and taught them how to do prosthetics and all this stuff. So you had a lot of great makeup people coming up and everything else. Now, with Charlie's pictures, he was very fortunate because he latched on to Mac Ahlberg rather early. Mac shot Parasite, and I think that might have been the first picture that Charlie did with Mac. But Mac was about, I don't know what, 20, 30 years older than the rest of us, from Sweden. He was a director of photography, but he had also directed a few. And he was excellent, and he knew how to light in classic Hollywood style lighting, high contrast, backlight and side lights and all this stuff that looked great. And he could do it really fast. I mean, he didn't really even need an experienced gaffer because he would just put this light there, put that light there, put this light there. And the reason with Charlie loved him so much because he almost blocked the scenes as well. He almost help with the direction of the whole thing. And so a lot of those pictures, Mac shot most of those pictures. He shot many of my pictures. And Charlie was always good at finding, it seemed to me, a DP. In terms of the rest of the crews, he wasn't always so good in finding some of the people. But in terms of the director of photography, Mac helped him out a lot. And that stuff looked really good. Now, Arena was supposed to be, because the video, the whole video thing was mushrooming and the video boom, really, it was just blossoming, and Charlie was riding that wave. I mean, all the films I did, really, just about all of them were for Charlie, and because of that, he was growing leaps and bounds. He sort of rode that wave and suddenly was making money, and he was pouring the money into more films and more films. He always made films. As soon as he got a little money, he started making the film, even if he didn't have the money for the rest of the movie. And fortunately, because it was growing so fast, he could sort of turn that over for a while. It eventually caught up with him. But Arena was supposed to be a $5 million picture, believe it or not. it's not surprising, but basically the film cost, I don't know, a little over 2 million at the end of the day, I think, because he didn't have the money. I mean, the money was promised from from a few other people, and other things were happening with the studio, and he was over expended with this and that, and credit lines and banking and all this kind of stuff that just sort of caught up with him. And then Rena was sort of caught in the mess and didn't get distributed. Oddly enough, I don't know why, but anyway, Arena was it was supposed to get. We finished it for less than half the money that we had. And I can tell you stories about that because Irwin Yablans was on it, and as a producer supposedly, and he came to me one day and said, "Where's the money? Where's the money?" And I said, "Irwin, you're the producer," because I was working for Charlie before I started directing for him as sort of a line producer who kept all his things going when he was juggling all these things. And Irwin said to me, "What's happening? We haven't got, he's not sending the money." And I said, "Irwin, you're the producer. I'm directing this." But anyway, it didn't get released. And then about 3 years later, because I got caught up in all the legal finagling that went on at the time, 3 years later, when they finally worked it out, they were going to release it, and it originally would have had some kind of a theatrical release before going to video. And then whoever, I forget the distributor was at that time, but the guy said to me, "Geez, Peter, you know, this film for its time it really looks good. If we had this 3 years ago, we would have cleaned up with this." And I said, "Right, well, you did have it 3 years ago, but you didn't release it."
Well, oh my God, we may as well stay on Arena for a minute because I think, Ben, did you have some questions about it?
Well, I did. I noticed that. Well, I mean, apart it does have this fantastic cast, but I noticed that William Butler is in it, who would then later go on to direct the sequel to Demonic Toys, which you also directed, and he's acting in a bunch of stuff. Did you know then that he would?
Was Will was
kind of.
Was he on Arena? I don't. Oh yeah, of course, Arena. Yeah, I was thinking it was Eliminated. No, he was in Arena. Of course. You know, we cast him because he wanted to do it, and I guess he auditioned for it. But I mean, I didn't know him as an actor at all. He was basically one of the special effects crew. But he came up to me with an idea when we started, and he said, "You know, because this guy has sort of got this, he wouldn't have used the word digital, but because he's sort of robotic and all this kind of stuff." And he said, "I want to do this and this with it." And I said, "That's fantastic, Bill. That's a great idea." So he came up with the whole way that character spoke and acted the whole thing. And yeah, I thought he was a great character in the film. But I sort of went off to do other things, and then eventually moved to England. I've been working in London for the last 20 years when I can get work. And Charlie then tapped Bill Butler to do the Demonic Toys sequel, which at the time when I found out, because I didn't even know it was happening, and when I found out later that he'd done that, I thought, "Geez, Charlie, you should have called me," because I always thought I liked Demonic Toys. I always thought it was one of my better pictures. I thought, you know, it was definitely made on a budget, but I thought it worked really well as the horror film that it was, even though some people may think it's a kind of a Chucky ripoff or something.
No, I mean, it's part of a genre. Like, it's part of a genre. We're all about it. We are all about it.
It's fantastic. And it features. I mean, you've always had great luck with actresses, in my opinion. Like Arena has Shari Shattuck and Claudia Christian, two of my favorite actresses. But Demonic Toys has Tracy Scoggins, who I've always had a major fascination with, shall we say? The polite way.
I can understand that. I mean, I thought she was great when she auditioned for it, actually, because she came from, where'd she come from? Dallas or?
Dallas, yeah.
You know, and I thought, oh, she's perfect for it, and I cast her.
Anyway. I did have a question for you. Just, we've kind of gone away from Arena, but I want to bring it back just for a second. You mentioned that it came in sort of at $2 million, which was less than what it was supposed to. I noticed in the film there's lots of Coca-Cola product placements. Did they have any kind of stake in the movie?
Oh, not that I know of. I don't remember that. It's possible.
Yeah, because
very possible.
I think in the Arena there's like Coca-Cola all around the sides, and I thought maybe that's where the money came from.
Maybe that's where the money came from. Yeah.
But I'm also glad you mentioned Full Moon, because Benjamin over there, he had a hand in the Full Moon box set that's come out from Umbrella Entertainment.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the two of them.
You got it there?
That's the That's the first one with Demonic Toys,
Your,
Dollman versus Demonic Toys,
your camera's gone all
and all
glitchy,
that.
Ben, so it's hard to see, mate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all right.
And then there's the second one, which I think is the one I actually got in touch with you for the commentary
All right.
for Seed People, which is another
Right.
one of my. I'm a big fan of all those body snatcher films, and Seed People is a fantastic addition to that canon.
What a good looking film.
Uh,
Seed People is such a good looking film. Like you mentioned at the start, Ben, like these films just look so good. And I think that no matter how advanced technology is now with all the green screen and CGI and virtual studios, it's that tangible sort of puppetry and, men in suits, practical effects that really makes these films last. It gives them longevity. Is that how you feel about them?
Yeah, well, no, yeah, I mean, for the time, if you look back at them now, I kind of think, well, geez, some of these effects, the makeup effects, and the mechanical effects don't really cut it in terms of what audiences are expecting in terms of the digital CGI and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can do so much with CGI now, and it looks so incredible. So you can make everything. But I always have a kind of, again, I don't know if it's a nostalgia, but a fondness for the fact of what we could do with, blowing things up for real and doing, it's just like, doing stunts for real rather than trying to just sort of do it all with blue screen or green screen. So yeah, no, I think, and at the time, because, if you go back through cinema history, even since the beginning when they put the first camera in front of a train and just shot the train, a shot going down the train tracks, traveling at 60 miles an hour or whatever it was. They always came up with all these things. Well, let's try Vaseline on the lens. Let's, let's shoot through a cheesecloth. Let's do this. Let's do that. And as cameras got smaller and more versatile and whatever, it was sort of a great time post 50s, from the 60s to the 70s, that because of the technology at that point, it was just getting advanced to enough where you could go and shoot more on location. And so you could move the camera more and put the camera in places more. But that was really a kind of a unique period, rather than working with some huge studio camera that you needed, huge equipment just to operate and stuff. Um, in a sense, it was almost as it was almost as effective or as much affecting. It was almost as much of a revolution in the industry as digital was 25, 30 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I will say this: I've seen they remade Arena in like 2011 with Samuel L. Jackson, and it has all of those digital CGI effects that you're talking about. But it is not. Does not have any of the soul of the original. It doesn't have the fun of the original. It doesn't have any of the pathos of the original. And I can't imagine that someone in 10 years' time is going to be contacting, was it Jason Loop or whoever directed that, and asking them about that Arena, because it is just
Well,
not
thank
worth
you.
talking.
That makes me feel good. It was all worthwhile then. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun making. It was a lot of fun making it, even though we had, budget considerations and budget problems. But yeah, I don't
Man.
know. It
Well, I
was
mean,
a lot of fun making the movie.
Ben mentioned how that's one of his favorites. One of mine is definitely Eliminators. Like, that's a real staple of my youth. I used to watch that at sleepovers. I would watch it on my own everywhere I was. Like, I had a copy and I would just watch it whenever I could. That movie just sort of takes me right back to my childhood. It's a very ambitious kind of film. I believe that's your first. Is that your first movie?
That's the first one I
Yeah,
directed.
that's
Yeah.
such an ambitious film for the first one. Like, did you feel completely in control? Did you feel like you were a fish out of, like you were out of your depth making that one? Can you talk about your experience there?
Yeah, sure. Um, as a director, I didn't feel I was out of my depth at all. Um, I had worked as well. First of all, I went to film school. I went to NYU and I made shorts and did all that kind of stuff. And
Mm.
I shot 16 millimeter film and edited and did all that kind of stuff. So I felt sort of familiar with that.
Hmm.
And then when I went to Los Angeles, I started working as a first AD.
Yep.
So I had done about, I don't know what, six, seven, eight, nine 10 pictures as a first AD. So as a director, I felt comfortable with Eliminators. The thing with Eliminators was that it was shot in Spain. Originally, it was supposed to be a $3 million picture. It was actually one of the first ones that was out of Charlie's, he was making $500,000 to $750,000 movies. The first ones were probably even less than that, a couple $100,000. And Eliminators was one of the first ones that he sold it the most at the film markets. So he came back and he came back with a little bit more money than usual from advanced sales. And he ended up making a deal with a co-producer to put in additional money. So it was supposed to be like a $3 million or $2.8 million film or something. And at the time, because of that, it had to be bonded. Now, Charlie never bonded any of his films. So we went to Film Finance at the time, and Lindsley Parsons was still alive at the time. He must have been 90. And he goes back to the days of the one reel Westerns. I mean, he was, but anyway, he read the script and he said, and he met with me because you have to have an interview for the bonds people to get the bond approved and all that. And he looked at me and he said, Peter, I can't bond this picture. I said, why not? He said, because you can't do it for that budget. Now, this was supposed to be 2.8. I said, you can't do it for that budget. And I said, Lindsay, yes, I can. I said, and he said, look at the effects in this. Look at the vehicles, the boats, the special effects that are needed, the makeup effects, of this, of that. There's no way. And I said, no, I can do it. He said, well, you've been ADing and line producing these films. If you can, and we were supposed to shoot it in Florida. Originally, it was set in Florida, and we were supposed to use those swamp buggies.
Yep.
They were sort of changed when we shot it. We ended up shooting in Spain, but he said, if you can come back with contracts for locations, and for vehicles, and for stunts, that can be done from viable companies, from legitimate companies with a proven track record, that say they can produce what you need in this film, I'll bond it. And so I went to Florida. Now, Charlie had, again, brought in like a line producer type in Florida who actually was quite experienced. A lot of times Charlie brought people in who didn't really know what they were doing, but this guy was quite good. And I said, okay. And I've been talking to him on the phone. I said, let me come down to Florida. So I went down to Florida for a week. And I said, his name is Bill Graffet. And I said, Bill, I don't need to get final contracts here. I just need a contract that says these locations will do. We don't have to go searching for locations. I mean, as long as it's somewhat suitable. And then a week later, Charlie says, we're not going to do it in Florida. And I said, what? He says, well, I don't want to bond the picture and I don't want to have a co-producer on this. He said, and I've met Louis, this Italian producer, who's making these low budget things, who just shot a picture in Spain for $100,000. So we're going to shoot this in Spain. And I said, Charlie, it's written for Florida. It's written for like swamp jungle and all this stuff. You don't have tropical swamp jungle in Spain. And he said, oh, yes, you do. Sure you do. And I said, well, look, send me to Spain. Let me go to Spain for a week and scout around and see what I can find. And we'll adjust it. If it's mountainous, we'll make it more mountainous. If it's heavily woodlands, we'll make it woodlands, whatever. But we'll let me go and look. And so we ended up making it over there, and the budget was supposed to be maybe $800,000. So it went from 2.8 down to under $1 million. And the crew I had at the time, there was maybe one crew in Spain, in Madrid. We shot it in Madrid, in and around Madrid. There was one crew that was of international standards that worked on all the big pictures that came in there. So if Hollywood or if Pinewood or somebody wanted to make a movie and they needed to shoot in Spain, they'd hire this one crew. And those guys were excellent. They were as good as any crew anywhere. But the people I got were Jose and Pepe from the local garage. On the first day, I looked over and they had a C-stand, and they were trying to figure out how to open the C-stand. C-stands have a little certain way they catch and click at the bottom. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And it took us it was supposed to be a 4-week shoot. It ended up an 8-week shoot.
We all need to butt our heads together and come up with a script. The Adventures of Jose and Pepe. I love that. I love that name as a combo.
Do that.
I do.
I think that's a great idea. One of the things with Eliminators, the only thing that really kind of I was very disappointed in was the little robot that flew around. I mean, we had to sort of rotoscope things and all, but
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't look as like it should have. I mean,
But-
obviously with CGI, it could have looked incredible, and I like the fact that it was a practical effect.
Yes.
And we had to have it on the set. It was actually, something on the effect that when then we basically rotoscoped in sort of lightning flashes or bulbs or fighting things.
And
all,
yet
but
here you
it-
are, like four decades later, talking about it with a guy that just told you it was a staple of his childhood. So the movie has legs, mate. Or wheels or
Anyway.
rotors, whatever you want to call them.
I do want to ask. You did mention that before you started directing, you were doing a lot of first ADing on Hollywood productions, and I did want to ask you about one of my favorite sleazy classics, the movie Fear City, that you I believe were first AD on, directed by Abel Ferrara, starring Tom Berenger, Billy D. Williams, Melanie Griffiths, Ray Dawn, Michael V. Gazzo. Have you got any stories about working on that set? I mean, there's lots of rumors going on about what it was like to work for Abel Ferrara back in the day.
Yes.
Abel,
But that
Abel
must have been.
Ferrara. Gotta get a shot here. We gotta get a shot here. Yeah, that's gonna get a shot here. They talk about Scorsese talking real fast, and it's New Yorker. But Abel had this way with his that's what we're gonna do. No, yeah. Anyway, there was a food fight. I remember at one point Abel had a food fight with Bruce Cone Curtis. The producers were Erwin Yablans and Bruce Cone Curtis, and we were at lunch. And I forget what happened, but Bruce was saying something about how it should be or do something like that. And Abel was all upset, and then he threw whatever his sandwich at Bruce. And also there was kind of a food fight during lunch once. But yeah, it was all right.
I
We got
love
through
that.
it.
I love that. We're running the clock out here, so we'll sort of start to wrap it up with a couple of fun questions. Unless Ben has anything else there he wants to ask, I'll lead into these.
Talk about this banger that Arrow are just about to put out on 4K. Enemy Territory.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
Is it Ernest Dickerson is the cinematographer on that one?
Yes, he is.
Mate,
Yes, he was.
He's a legend.
Ernest and I got along great. When we went to New York, again, this was something where Charlie had. The reason why this picture was made was because of Debbie Dion. Debbie Dion, who ended up marrying Charlie and was married to Charlie for a number of years, back then had sort of hooked up with Charlie and had become kind of like a D girl, a development girl. She was sort of reading the scripts and looking for scripts, and she found this script, which was Enemy Territory, which is quite good. Cabrini, it was based on Cabrini Green by Stuart Kaminsky, who wrote all these gumshoe novels and all, and was a university teacher and all. But Charlie would have never made that picture. He really made it because Debbie wanted to make it, and it was not a Charlie Band type of picture. It didn't have monsters or puppets or growling people in the dark. So Charlie had agreed.
It is full of vampires, though, right?
What's that?
It is full of vampires, though.
Oh, it is full of vampires. Yes.
You idiot.
In fact, not only that, we were shooting on the Lower East Side, and we were in this building. We had several buildings that were used to carve. It was all practical locations. We'd pay somebody $50 to displace them for a day while we shot in their apartment or whatever. And all of a sudden, somebody on the crew was saying to me, Peter, we're having trouble outside. I think the cops are going to come and the whole thing. There's something's wrong. And I said, what's going on? They said, well, there's a gang down there. And I went down, because we were on the 4th or 5th floor. I went down, it was a high-rise project building in Lower East Side. I went outside. And what it was we were in a territory for a gang, and the gang thought the vampires were taking over the territory. So because they saw our actors in the vampire garb, they were ready to come in and have fight it out. And I said, no, guys, no. This is a movie. We're making a movie. This is your territory, not us. We're grateful for you being here, for letting us be here. And they said, oh, that's cool, mate. That's cool. It's my favorite movie, and I think Demonic Toys is my second favorite. And I think there's some similarities in those two films, believe it or not, even though they're completely different.
Well, you've answered one of my last two questions, which was what of your films is your favorite. So my final question to you is a very general one, and is what are some of your favorite movies in general?
I don't know. People ask me that from time to time, not all the time because I don't talk to that many people, but I never know because I see something and I like it, and it's hard to say. I like films. I like films and like all genres and stuff, you know. And sometimes I'm in for even just a good action adventure, you know. And sometimes I like something that's more of a serious drama and all. And I'm not a huge, believe it or not, I'm not a huge horror film. I mean, obviously, I like horror films and classics like The Shining, obviously, you know, are something to be commended. But I can't really say because from year to year, I'll have a different film that suddenly oh, man, that's really cool. I really like that, you know.
Well, I was going to say, what have you seen anything recently that you really took a shine to?
No, not necessarily. I've seen some things that I certainly haven't taken a shine to.
we can.
That's why I'm watching some TV. You know, everything's different now with Netflix and with Apple and with all the series and all. I'm a little behind the times, but I'm watching Adolescence, which is really worth seeing. And you know, Baby Reindeer was sort of very intriguing, little drama there and all that kind of stuff. So those things sort of catch my eye, but
I think you're practically in the pub from Baby Reindeer right there. You better watch yourself. There could be some psycho behind it.
That's right.
Oh my god, that's a great place to wrap this up. Look, we really do appreciate you making time for us. You know, we reached out and you answered, and do appreciate it. Your films meant a lot to us growing up and still do. We revisit them quite a lot. So.
I appreciate it because thank you so much. I'm hoping it's gives you an entertaining podcast for whatever you cut this into, you know.
Guaranteed. Thank you, mate.
2007. The Channel 9 network introduces the worm polling graph to their live broadcast, thus changing the political landscape forever.
What are you doing there, Ben?
I'm looking at 2007 on the internet because I
got the year wrong.
Got the year wrong.
So I'm here to talk about 2007, and Ben's ready for next week's 2008 episode.
Totally prepared.
You're in the future, mate. That's okay. I've got plenty of titles here to talk about. May I do the box office? I'm glad I've got these this week. You would have fucked us otherwise. So number 10 that year was 300. Zack Snyder's 300. Number 9 was National Treasure 2. Number 8 was The Simpsons movie. Number 7 was I Am Legend. 6 was Ratatouille. 5 was Transformers. 4 was Shrek the Third. 3 was Spider-Man 3. Number 2 was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. And number 1 was Pirates of the Caribbean At World's End, which I believe last week number 1 was Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think so. They were churning them out at this point.
I thought there were at least 2 years between them, but clearly not.
They could only get Johnny Depp for a certain period of time, so they just shot them all together.
An interesting lineup of films. I'll go through some horror films here while you just sort of refresh yourself on what these movies even are, Ben. Murder Party was one. The Hitcher, The Messengers, Hannibal Rising, Pumpkinhead Blood Feud, The Hills Have Eyes 2, Dead Silence, The Reaping, Grindhouse, Tripper, Vacancy, Rob Zombie's Halloween, The Invasion, Sweeney Todd, The Mist, Saw 4, 30 Days of Night, Return to House on Haunted Hill, Rogue, Storm Warning, Resident Evil Extinction. So, yeah, the horror wasn't too bad that year.
No.
And then, of course, throughout the year, Jesus, man, this was the year of Knocked Up, Waitress, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, There Will Be Blood, 3:10 to Yuma, the assassination of Jesse James, Into the Wild. There's so many, Ben.
So many. As I'm discovering.
I'm just padding time whilst you
feverishly scroll through.
There was a spoof movie that year called Delta Fast. Do you remember that?
I remember you talking about it a lot.
It's not good. It's DJ Quayle's in that one, but it's a.
I mean, I do love DJ.
Sort of
Quayle's.
the end of that era for spoof movies. It's not until now with Naked Gun that spoof are kind of making their resurgence. Although I did like that Fast and Furious spoof movie they did. What was that called? I'm trying to remember.
I thought movie 43 kind of had killed it.
Yeah, but yes, I guess so.
And then it kind of came back.
Although it was a different kind of spoof, I reckon, that one. More of a spoof if you've seen the film, really. But Australia had some pretty good ones. Black Water came out the year, which I should have included in the horror. Dr. Plonk, the Rolf de Heer silent film. I really love that one. Gabrielle, Gone, Home Song Stories, Noise. I really like Noise. That's a good one. Bra Boys, Clubland. Yeah, Romulus, My Father. So the Australians were pumping out some good shit too. Anyway, are you ready, Ben? One of the films that annoyed me this year, 2007, was Georgia Rule, which was the movie with Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
She played the grandmother that just kept saying, Georgia Rule. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I think it was actually a Gary Marshall film too, so shame on him. One film I loved was Bridge to Terabithia. That's sort of the end of the era of traumatizing kids in films. You know, doing kids films where, you just completely fuck the kids over that are watching. Did you read that book in school?
No.
You didn't?
No, I had no idea about it until it came out, and I did not watch it.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Oh?
August Rush, I liked that one. That's the one with Robin Williams was essentially playing Bono. And then Kerry Russell's in it too. And little Freddie Highmore before he sort of grew up as a little guitar prodigy. It was a great film.
I think this was also the year that didn't Ben Affleck make his directorial debut with
Gone Baby Gone?
Gone Baby Gone, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it might have been. I don't know if I've got that in front of me.
And Jerry Seinfeld did that B movie.
Wow.
Everyone talks about... That's, I think, what he gets the most shit for, is that...
And now he's got his Pop-Tart movie.
Yeah.
I did like that. I was one of the few people that enjoyed that. Did you like it?
The Pop-Tart movie?
Yeah.
I don't even know. No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, you're going to enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah, right. What is it? How is it? How is it?
Hang on. Pop-Tart movie. We're going to have to do a little movie marathon after this, mate. Just going to sit down. Yeah, it's called Unfrosted. He directed it.
Great.
It's got
great title.
Jeff Gaffigan, James Marsden. It's got Melissa McCarthy, Kyle Dunnigan. Unfortunately, it's got Amy Schumer. Who else? It's got so many people in it. Anyway, Thomas Lemon, Christian Slater, Peter Dinklage, Bill Burr, Patrick Warburton, Dan Levy. It's a fantastic movie.
Oh, wow, look at that cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it looks like it has the entire cast of The New Girl in it.
But it's very, very...
And Ed.
I don't know how you would describe it. It's abstract almost. Like it's got that 1950s feel to it, like Edward Scissorhands does with the houses all looking the same. Yeah, anyway, we're talking about 2007 here. So are you caught up, Ben? Are you caught up?
I'm caught up enough that I think I can make a mildly educated guess.
Oh, alrighty. So should I try to guess yours first, and you can just say whether they would be on your list or not? You don't have to put much thought.
I've got some that would definitely be on my list.
Okay. Can I guess DOA?
Yes, 100% yes.
I thought that would be. What about Vacancy?
So no, I put that one down for you.
No, I haven't got Vacancy there.
Okay, no.
Didn't need to scroll. I know it's not there. Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And the last one would be Stardust.
It is there, yeah.
Bam! 3 for 4.
I got two more in there.
Oh, okay.
And that would be Die Hard 4.0.
Excellent.
And 30 Days of Night.
Excellent. I didn't even read 30 Days of Night Out before. Or did I? Maybe I did. I don't know. I was too busy wondering if you're caught up.
I wasn't listening to you. I was feverishly reading.
So I've only selected 4. So if you can get at least one of these, you'll be doing pretty well.
Well, I tried Dr. Plonk because you just mentioned it then.
No.
Hot Rod.
Yes. Well done.
There Will Be Blood.
No, I hate that movie.
Yeah, right, because I hate that movie. I thought I was the only person. Not that I hate it, I just don't ever want to watch. I've tried to watch it several times and don't ever want to try again.
I guess maybe that's my position. I just don't care for it.
Yeah, and the other one was Vacancy, which you already said was
I'm
on your list.
surprised you didn't get The Last Mimsy.
Yeah, I didn't even see that.
That's why you just didn't sit in the list, so you weren't to know that it was that year. Yeah, love that film. It's possibly my favourite of that year.
Yeah, right.
But then I've got Zodiac down there.
I didn't see Zodiac in the list either.
Love Zodiac and Into the Wild. Just the
Yeah,
Sean
right.
Penn one that he directed. Love that. So that would be my top 4.
That's with the Girl Next Door guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you say The Girl Next Door, my mind goes to Jack Ketchum. Yours goes to Alicia Cuthbert. So
Yeah.
had to think twice there. But yes, Emil Hirsch.
Emil Hirsch, that's
Yeah,
it.
Speed Racer himself. There we go. Cool. I've got the Boneheads, so let's see what they think.
Welcome to Bonehead Weekly Fun Size, and this week we're doing 2007.
I will let James go first.
James, you do
You know
us
what?
so well.
I'm going to start with the dark horse that I'm pretty sure neither one of you is going to take. It was one of the most fun I had in theaters. I'm going to go ahead and say Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie film for theaters.
That's a good one.
Shocker.
Did we see that in the theater? I don't remember seeing it.
I saw it at the old back in the day, and this is going to mean nothing to our Australian friends, but
No.
Lexington Green Theater used to have a theater, and I saw it there. It was one of the few theaters that was playing it multiple times a day, and I got to see it there.
It's a
And
restaurant
it was
now.
well worth it.
And believe it or not, kids, at one time there were theaters that were second run, and they were a couple of bucks or $1 for a ticket, and they were dandy for movies that you didn't want to see in their first run. I'll go second. This movie came out at Thanksgiving, which was a terrible time to release it. It had one of the best endings and is very close to the original source material, but the ending is changed, and even the author later said he would have changed it. It's The Mist. Frank Darabont's The Mist.
That's a good one.
That's one of the best endings. Took the breath right out of that Thanksgiving crowd. I don't know if you all remember this, but I don't need to look it up. I know it came out. I remember my mom went with me and went, huh? Were you there too?
Yep.
Mom was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It must have been because of Thanksgiving. Chad took the breath out of the crowd, right?
It really did, yeah.
There's just, whoa. And that's not even the worst part. It's 30 seconds after it.
I know, it was a shocker.
Oh,
Just shocking.
yeah, it's a really good movie.
Those were both good picks, but guys, I am a sucker for a good action film. And 2007 had one banger, Shoot 'em Up.
Oh, if we had him on the show.
2007, that was my favorite movie of the year. It was a tight race for three, but Shoot 'em Up, there's just no comparison. It makes me love Clive Owens. I love him as an actor. I'll watch anything he's in. And then
And
Paul
yeah,
Giamatti,
Paul Giamatti is the villain.
who's one of my favorite actors of all time, Paul Giamatti, and he just nails the villain. Just chewing the scenery. So Shoot 'em Up's my pick.
Hopefully, he does the same thing for Starfleet Academy.
All right. Any not honorable mentions?
The Simpsons movie.
Mhm.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good time in the theater.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that was my runner-up. If one of you would have stole Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I was going to say the Simpsons movie because it was again just having fun in the theater. It worked.
It was a close second.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton of them other than Zodiac is one of the best procedural films, David Fincher, and one of the best police procedural films ever made. Anybody? All right. This has been Bonehead Weekly Fun Size.
Let's edit later. Let's go.
I can't believe we didn't do Walk Hard.
I almost said Blades of Glory.
Yeah, Walk Hard. Those penis shots.
I've got Aqua Teen Hunger Force on Blu-ray over there somewhere, I believe.
I never watched any of those. Any of those. Was it MTV or... No, it wasn't MTV. What was it?
Oh, yeah, that was...
Nickelodeon or whatever the network was that put all that...
Yeah, I know.
Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, and
fucking
Harvey Birdman.
Adult Swim.
Adult Swim. Yeah, I never watched any of that stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And look, Chad did Shoot 'em Up. Great movie. That's sort of been on the tip of our tongue for a few weeks.
Yeah, because there was the two movies that were very similar at the time.
Smoking Aces
and Shoot 'em Up.
Yeah.
And that one's Clive Owen and Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, it's just one of those sort of highly stylized, kind of almost Sin City type of movies.
Non-stop action film.
And The Mist for Joe, it's a good one. The Mist is great.
It has such a great ending. The ultimate downer ending.
Yeah, that's what he spoke about. And obviously, as Joe said, famously, Stephen King wished he'd written that ending.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so movie battle time, Ben. All right.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah, okay. All right, get strap in, everyone. Why this one, Ben?
Well, yeah, I like to use these battles as an excuse to watch films that I've always meant to get around to watching and haven't.
It's what I enjoy about this particular segment is same, or if it's been a long time, I can revisit, reevaluate, and for the last several weeks in a row, I've had different opinions of films that
that you thought
otherwise had. Yeah,
yeah, and I'd only seen bits and pieces of these movies for years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've never actually sat down and watched them properly. It was always, I'll get around to it. I get around to it. And I didn't. And then I sat down and watched them, and I had a great time.
Did we say what they are?
We did it at the head of the show, but let's say it right now. So it is The Watcher in the Woods from 1980 versus The Wolves of Willoughby Chase from 1989. So there's actually a 9-year difference between
that's
these.
very important that we do that. It's where I put the posters on the screen.
Right.
So,
So The Watcher in the Woods was directed by John Ho, the man behind things like Twins of Evil and Legend of Hell House and both the Witch Mountain movies, American Gothic, stuff like that. An incredibly prolific director who does not, in my opinion, get anywhere near the amount of props that he deserves.
Sure.
And the second one, it stars Betty Davis, Lynn Holly Johnson, David McCallum pops up, Carol Baker.
It's gained a massive cult following over the years.
And it's been remade. It's based on a book.
There's the two Disney movies that kind of have this reputation. This one and Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yeah.
Which I think was a Disney acquisition. I don't think they actually made it.
Yeah.
Mick Garris was doing the behind-the-scenes documentary on that one.
On Something Wicked?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Anyhow.
And this one, Watcher in the Woods had about 152 endings were shot because they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And The Wolves of Willoughby Chase, as I said, 1989, directed by Stuart Orme, who did like the Puppet Masters and Colditz and the Walking with Dinosaurs TV series and stuff. Also based on a book, a children's novel starring the delectable Stephanie Beacham, who is the kind of the vile governess. Mel Smith pops up in very, very Mel Smith.
Very. Like, that guy only knows how to be one thing, and it's Mel Smith.
And that one thing is great.
It is. It's quirky.
Although if you watch Slayground, the Parker adaptation, he does actually, he does get to stretch himself a bit as an actor in that one. But so they're the two films. So
okay, so I struggled. Neither of these films have ever done it for me. I've got to admit, The Wolves of Willoughby Chase, I hadn't seen until now. I watched it last week in preparation for this. Watcher in the Woods is one of those films that everybody talked about loving, and it just never captured my imagination. And I think it's because I have a problem with these, I guess, what would you call them? Family period fantasy movies. I don't know what it is. So films that are set in an older time.
But this one, that's Wolves of Willoughby Chase.
Yeah, that's in my mind.
Watcher in the Woods,
still
not really.
But it has that old gothic feel about it. It just never did it for me. I was massive into all of those Disney live action sort of movie of the week type of movies, big time. But when this movie came out, I was more interested in The Treasure of Matacombe and Follow Me Boys and just those sort of non-fantasy movies.
Yeah.
So I guess as a kid, I was rejecting these, and so as an adult, I just haven't got an interest in them. I mean, I've watched Watcher in the Woods maybe 5 years ago, and I've seen it maybe 4 times in my life.
Right.
It's okay, but it doesn't do anything for me. But The Wolves of Willoughby Chase, excruciating watch. I absolutely loathed it. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. It was just laborious and reminded me of there was like a movie a few years ago with Maggie Smith. It was like a Downton Abbey ghost movie type of thing. I can't remember, As Time Goes By or something like that. It reminded me of that.
Right.
But that didn't do it for me either. So I just think I reject the period and the fantasy being
there
married.
And I couldn't be more opposite.
I know. I'm watching it thinking Ben's going to be loving this.
I had not seen Watcher in the Woods properly before. I loved it.
Yep.
It is definitely a of its time, Disney horror, so it couldn't be that scary.
Was it one of the? I read one of the Disney executives says this could be our Exorcist.
Yeah. Which is and it could have been. I would love to see I've got to buy the Blu-ray and see the special features and listen to the John Ho commentary, because I'm curious, because they did the original ending they shot, they said was too scary. So I would have loved to have seen that, because the ending is probably the most disappointing thing about the movie. The build up, the tension, the evil things that kind of happen, the fact that everyone's scared, it's all chef's kiss for me. Mwah. But the ending reveal is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You know what I'd love to do though? Having said everything I just did, I'd love to see Watcher in the Woods like at Astor or something on a big screen, just to see if I can get roped into it. Because so far, each watch I haven't been.
You haven't been.
No.
And for me, the Willoughby Chase. Look, I do love these kind of period kind of movies. Darby O'Gill and the Little People, that type of thing. And this for me is, look, it's almost like an episode of The Storyteller.
So this was your first watch
of Willoughby Chase? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'd discovered it when I was managing DVD collection, so I was already in my 30s.
And it's a popular book.
I've never read the book either.
But it is a popular book.
But it is a popular book, yeah.
So it's got a massive sort of fan base.
And it definitely has that kind of fairy tale quality. It's this, and I guess if anything drags it down, it is the fact that the girls are pretty, at the start, they're well off. Mm-hmm. They're pretty privileged, and they're, have no, and why would they? They have no understanding of what it's like to not be privileged until they aren't. And so they can be a little annoying. But, it's a kind of, governess comes in to look after the girls while their parents are away, and then the parents die, and she just takes over, takes all the money, sentences them to live in a workhouse.
Yep.
All this kind of stuff. Very traditional, especially English, kind of, Oliver Twisty territory. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. For me, look, Watcher in the Woods still...
Yeah, if I had to choose,
wins.
If I had to choose between these two, it would definitely be Watcher in the Woods. It's one of those movies too. Whenever you see a list of like the great gateway horror films, it's always in there.
Yeah,
with like Gremlins and the greats. It's always one of them.
I mean, and I have a big affection for the British, like these kind of British children's films.
I know. Yeah.
Whereas Something Wicked This Way Comes is American, and that's very kind of it's Huckleberry Finn horror.
Yeah. It's a Ray Bradbury story that could be a Stephen King story.
Yeah.
And it's just happens to have the Disney brand on it to sort of, try and push it into that family-friendly realm, but it's still twisted and dark. Reminds me a lot of Storm of the Century, the Stephen King Tally movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where he got a lot of inspiration from, but
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, we've got a winner. Let's see if you agree. I'm sure there's horror fans watching that probably think it's a fantastic movie, Watcher in the Woods. No doubt that's the winner in their minds.
Willoughby Chase is up on YouTube, so you can watch it there. I don't know about... I'm sure Watcher in the Woods is on Disney Plus if it's not also on YouTube.
It'd be amazing if this is the first time ever that you guys just watch both and come at us and go, oh my God, we've got opinions. We've actually got opinions.
That would be... We'd love it if you had an opinion.
Yes. I was trying to hit the can out of your hand there, Ben.
My cans. My antique cans.
He hates these cans.
Goddamn kids.
Ain't what she used to be. Anyway.
Your grandma, she ain't what she used to be.
I don't know. I just blended The Jerk with Pee Wee Herman, I think.
And The Simpsons.
He hates these cans, and then... Yeah, the old bum on the train. Anyway, moving along. Glenn's in his own head.
I only know them from all of it from The Simpsons.
Man, now I want to watch The Jerk. All right, speaking of Jerk, your turn to start us off with some rapid fire. What's your recommendation, Ben?
Well, I talked about it so much in the interview and I'm just it's gonna be my recommendation.
Okay.
It is Arena. The greatest.
Duh. Of course.
One of the greatest Peter Manoogian films of all time.
Yeah. It's a fucking banger.
It is a sci-fi Mortal Kombat type, not Mortal Kombat, but Bloodsport type movie. There is a Legion of Superheroes, if you ever watch that cartoon, they basically have this movie as an episode.
Yep.
Which is great. So it's, I guess you could describe it as Rocky meets Star Wars.
Bloodsport meets Star Wars.
Bloodsport meets Star Wars, yeah. And so the basic plot is this guy, he's working very similar to Space Truckers. He's working in a diner on a space station, and he gets into a fight with a particularly rude patron who just happens to be a championship pit fighter in this intergalactic pit fight where no human has been the champion for 50 years. And humans are kind of like, very much similar to Titan AE. They're kind of like the dregs of society. So then he gets kind of roped in through a whole bunch of stuff that, to become a fighter. And of course, that challenges the status quo. And he has to fight not only his opponents in the ring, but out of the ring. He has to battle their corruption and all that sort of stuff. He's got a great cast. Claudia Christian, Paul Satterfield is the star. Mark Alamo from who's Gul Dukat in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Armin Shimmerman, who is Quark in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So that's a nice little,
totally.
Kind of precursor. The very, very attractive Shari Shattuck and Claudia Christian turns up. And, of course, William Butler, who would then go on to direct Demonic Toys 2 and all of the Baby Oopsie
he was
sequels
the yuppie in Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
That fantastic
movie,
film.
I reckon it's influenced quite a bit of cinema. Like I've said to you before, Hellseeker is very much that, except they've replaced the alien fighters with robot fighters.
Robots, yeah.
And then you got Real Steel with Hugh Jackman. That's a very similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like Real Steel. Am I the only one?
I think so.
Am I the only one?
It was before they figured out how to make cool, board game based movies. No, it was after, because they had done Jumanji, but Jumanji wasn't a real board game.
Was Real Steel based on a board game?
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Is that what it's actually?
Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea.
It's the Rock'em Sock'em Robot movie.
I know those, but I didn't join the dots
That
there.
was the IP that it was based on.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was quite good. I think Spielberg produced that.
Did you like Battleships?
No, I was thinking of Battleships earlier this week.
I kind of like a bit of revisionist history, because at the time I hated it, but going back now,
Maybe I
like
should. Maybe I should. Like Liam Neeson's on my mind. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, it's pure trash.
Yeah.
But in such a fun way.
I remember it being so dumb. All right. Anyway, I wish I'd gone down that avenue and maybe picked like a Full Moon kind of movie to talk about, but I ended up with the 2024 movie, The Last Showgirl, which is Pamela Anderson's comeback movie.
Right.
It's the one that was it's directed by Gia Coppola, who I think is Francis Ford Coppola's granddaughter. So this family's just film runs deep.
Yeah. See, it's not about gender. It's about nepotism.
That's right. Look, I really enjoyed this one. I had put off watching it for a while and only just got around to it. And I heard some negative stuff about it. I thought, I'm just going to let the...
Is it because you liked Naked Gun so much and you're like, I'm going to give Pamela Anderson a chance?
Pure coincidence. No,
right.
Because I was down with Pamela Anderson from that documentary that she did.
Right.
That really told her story and showed her in a new light. And I thought, yeah, you deserve a comeback. Fucking oath you do. Anyway, so The Last Showgirl came along.
That'd have to be a magic documentary.
That's great. It really is. And it follows an aging Vegas showgirl in the final week of her residency show. So the show's been folded up for a new, younger show to come along. This show's been going for like 30-something years.
Right.
Time is up. But this woman is like, she's in her 50s. She still looks good for her 50s, but she's not one of the young showgirls, Yeah. But she's facing that reality that's what her life is now. And what does she do without this? It's all she's known for her whole life.
Yeah.
And so she is invested in this show where all the other younger showgirls are like, oh, I'll just go on to the next show.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I've got nothing.
It's like when I keep bringing it back to the Bill, but it's like, he had all those, when the Bill got cancelled or when they got fired, there was a spate of actors from the Bill who attempted suicide because
nothing
that
left.
show, they'd been in that show for 20 years and that was pretty much,
100%.
their working life. And then you find out that it's not so easy to get another job.
Yep, damn straight. So you'd appreciate the show it's been replaced with. It's like a naked circus.
I was hoping you were going to say it's Showgirls.
No. Well, hers is more like Showgirls.
Right.
But it's like what's it called? La Razzle Dazzle. And it was
Because-
it's based on a real show. I can't remember what it's called, but one of the famous Vegas shows it's based on.
But if you think about it too, when was Showgirls?
That was 97, 98?
So it's almost 25 years.
Yeah.
So imagine if Elizabeth Berkley had just been in that show.
Yeah, that's where we'd be at.
Yeah.
100%. Look, it's great. And also, I mean, unfortunately, because if you listen to the show, you know I don't like Jamie Lee Curtis. She is in it. She plays a former showgirl that's now like a waitress in the casino. She's actually really good in it, I've got to say. She does a really weird but kind of awesome pole dance in the casino just on her own time. Like she's trying to just relive her youth, and she has this moment. She puts her tray of glasses down, gets up on the stage, and does this dance with nobody watching. It's an awesome moment. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, and she's got pretty good body for her age. I tell you who's really good in this is Dave Bautista. He's got long hair. He's kind of slimy, kind of sweaty looking, so you might struggle with the sweat. But
Don't care for the sweat.
I think he's a good actor, and this is a really great performance. He's the nice guy manager that's trying to look after the girls, but you know he's got a bad side. Like you don't see it in the movie, you just know you don't want to fuck with him. But he protects his girls, and it's a really awesome movie, and it's a great comeback movie. I'm sad that it didn't get more accolades for Pamela Anderson.
I'm just thinking that he's the Robert Darby character in Showgirls,
Yeah.
and at the end he's like, "Must be nice not having guys come on you all the time."
He kind of is. He kind of is.
That's the nicest thing. Like it's a genuine moment in Showgirls, and he's genuinely trying to be nice, and that's what he comes up with.
Yes, and there are moments like that in this, like because Dave Bautista's obviously getting on in age, but it doesn't matter for him because he's behind the scenes. But he's always complimenting the girls, and they're young girls, and they just don't want to hear it from him because he's an old sleazy man. But he's protecting them. It's like, you look really lovely tonight. Like, fuck off, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about all I got. Last show, girl.
Yeah, right.
I think you'll like it.
It's one I've been meaning to check out for a while, but I need to watch that doco because I have never really been. Like, don't get me wrong. I love One Good Cop and Snapdragon and Baywatch and stuff. But I've always found, and Barbed Wire. But I've always found,
one-dimensional kind of person.
Yeah, and just annoying.
Yeah. I won't even go.
Which
to
is
the
not
doco.
her fault.
I
That's
think
just what
I
she's been
recommended the
given.
doco on the show a couple of years ago. Go and watch it because it's just sort of it shows you the shit going on in her life that was out of her control.
Yeah.
And she now is finally able to reclaim some independence for herself.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've got to watch the Pam and Tommy Lee, the TV series.
Oh, I'm not interested in that.
Supposedly really good. Like,
I've heard
it just
that.
shows, kind of what happened.
And from memory, I think that's referenced in the documentary, and she didn't have much control over the
thing, yeah.
the narrative of that either.
But it's like, I'm watching I, Tonya.
Yeah.
And you get this whole different idea of, what happened to Tonya Harding and what the establishment did to Tonya Harding.
Absolutely agree.
And they vilified her because they wanted to.
Yeah, for sure.
Know.
Anyhow, that brings us to the end of the show, Ben.
Fantastic.
Don't forget goodmoviemonday.com. Go there and pick up some merch while you're at it. Click through to our socials. Click the bell on YouTube. You'll get notified whenever a new video drops, including the interview with Peter Manoogian this Thursday and other stuff that we do. There's plenty we do.
There's a lot. There's a lot of bloopers that don't make it into the show, but magically appear on TikTok.
So yeah,
thanks to some evil little pixie.
Hit us up on TikTok, of course, including last week's sing along. Everyone, join in the fun.
Unfortunately, not so much this week.
No.
Someone really let the side down.
This is my apology. Go fuck yourselves. See ya.
Bye.